Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Speedway Heat, CBI sports coverage of auto racing for the 1997 Seekonk Speedway Racing. That's right, I'm Pete Silva, and we've got a great show for you tonight. It's the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open. It's the second of three in the Triple Crown Series. Now, John Ring and Tom Ring couldn't join us tonight, but we do have Ernie Boucher. Ernie Boucher brings 30 years of experience here with us at Seekonk Speedway.
Yes, Pete, I've been here about 35 years as a car owner. I've been a handicapper. I've been a jack of all trades here, and it's a pleasure to come along board here. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Ernie. Of course, Ernie once was the car owner for the number 99 of Wayne Dion, a championship car. Hopefully we'll see Wayne tonight. Also joining us is John Horrigan. John, it's great to have you aboard again.
Great to be back, Pete. I'll be conversing with some of the drivers, especially Len Ellis, who is right on the tail of Rick Martin despite not having a victory.
It's going to be a great night of racing. Again, it's 100 lap in a Pro Stock Open here at Seekonk Speedway, so don't go away. This is Speedway Heat.
John Horrigan joined by Lenny Ellis in car number 41 in the Pro Stock division. Lenny currently in second place. You haven't won this year, but you're within striking distance of the leader, Rick Martin.
Yeah, we've had a good year up to this point. Hopefully Lady Luck will stay with us for the rest of the year. We still want our win, which is important to us, and that's what we're looking for. But, you know, right now I'd almost take, if it takes 10 seconds to beat Ricky and he gets 10 thirds, and that's what I want to do.
100 lapper tonight, part of the Triple Crown feature. Any changes to make? Obviously, the longevity factor.
No, the BOC gases, Bob Sunoco, Mark's parts is going really well. Manchester Racing Engines. We're just fine-tuning a little bit tonight. The big thing is to be there at the end. A lot of these races, they don't have more than 10, 12, 15 cars running at the end. So if you can avoid accidents and anybody from ripping you up, just get in the show, you're all set.
Yeah. And finally, you're the dean when it comes to talk shows of auto racing on WALE. How's that going?
That's excellent. We've had a really good time. More and more people listen to it. We have it's a talk show, so you kind of get opinions going on. There's my opinion, and of course, there's the other people's opinion. But it's really good. I think it's one of the neatest things that I've been able to do, and I'm very thankful that I do it. I don't know how well I do it, but we have a really good time.
You do a great job. I've heard you before, Lenny.
Thank you.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see you in Victory Lane and we'll be doing this again.
Absolutely. If not, you still may win anyways, the overall tournament.
That's what that is the big picture. We are looking for the big picture.
Great. Back upstairs to Pete.
This is the Pro Stock division here on Speedway Heat. We're watching racing action at Seekonk Speedway. I'm Pete Silva, along with Ernie Boucher, who's doing color for us tonight. Tom Ring, our regular commentator, is off enjoying his honeymoon. Tonight, our track reporter is John Horrigan, who's filling in for John Ring, who's taking the night off, wishing his brother well. And there you have a shot of the beautiful full moon over Seekonk Speedway and our great race fans as they get ready for the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open race here at Seekonk Speedway. This is the second in the Triple Crown Series, all leading up to the big D. Anthony Vendetti Memorial. We're about to go green. We are green. We'll take a look at that top lineup. Ernie Boucher, who's our pole sitter tonight?
We got Dick Houlihan on the pole after that redraw. The top 9 positions redrew for the position, so that put Houlihan on the pole, Martin second. We got the outlaw Jimmy McCallum in there for third spot. I think that's Chad Chase running in fourth. Bobby Tripp sixth. I believe that's Dave Bergman in Bugsy Stevens' son. Oh no, that's Steve Channing. I'm sorry.
And there you
23
see
car.
Dick Houlihan in the number 1. Rick Martin, the defending points champion in the 14, running very aggressively. Now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this race is 100 laps. Normally, these races are 40 laps in this Pro Stock division. This, however, is not a points race. It's an open competition, so we'll see a lot of drivers from different tracks around all of New England competing here, as well as New York.
We see Martin on the outside, which is what the last 100 lap, Martin ran the whole race on the outside and wore his tires out and faded back at the end. We'll see how Rick does it. Maybe he's got the chassis a little bit tuned a little better. See how he's doing out there on that outside. Hooley's a tough man to get by, and these guys have run many laps side by side over the years.
Down on the inside, it's the 2X of McCallum. McCallum trying to make his way, cannot do it. Blocked off by Houlihan in the number 1. And if you look at Martin now, Martin trying to get the inside line. It's a dangerous groove to take, that high line, especially for 100 laps. You could lose your tires very quickly.
You got Jimmy McCallum. Jimmy McCallum's run here off and on many, many times over the years. Jimmy's never had any luck here. He just always seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe tonight his luck will change in that Hydro Stop 2X.
Now another interesting issue in this race is that it's green flag racing all the way.
Yeah, we don't count the yellows in our 100 lappers where some tracks they do. This makes for better racing, gives the fans a whole show for their money.
And there you go. Great battle going on with that number 80 of Bob Tripp.
And Chad Chase on the inside of Bobby. Bobby Trippin, he's running his open comp car where his father Johnny's in the car that he won the 100 lapper back in last month. But Bobby is really got the handles on that car a lot better.
And now Dick Houlihan beginning to pull away ever so slightly by inches. Martin trying to find the inside line. I don't think he's going to have an easy time of it.
No,
because McCallum, and now McCallum gets loose. McCallum, as I was about to say, trying to close the door off on Martin, finds himself spun around on the infield. We are still
on the green. There's no yellow. He was off the track surface, so there was no yellow needed.
So Jim McCallum now, you see he's being lapped. He looks like he's in the front, but that's actually lap traffic. McCallum is in a dangerous spot because he's actually in the rear of the field. Houlihan, Martin, the number 80 of Tripp behind him as McCallum fights to get that lap back.
That was just tight racing between, there's Bobby Tripp on the inside of Martin. Martin closes the door hard.
Exchanging paint on the way, chasing that 46. There's McCallum now. And again, it's not a fight for second with McCallum.
No, that's a sad thing for Jimmy. Like I said, Jimmy just has no luck here. And that was just, he got pinched down. And I mean, that was really a racing accident. As we look back in the field, that number 60X there, Paul McElhenney, he's down from Long Island. He runs real good out on the island. And it's the second time. He didn't qualify for our first 100 lapper. But he's here, and he'll give us a good show if he can get some open racing.
And again, open is the key word, the operative word, because this is an open competition more than our regular show here at Seekonk Speedway. Drivers from all over New England and New York competing.
You look at that number 81 that was just on the screen, that's George Murray. George has been running here at Seekonk since the 60s. Many-time track champion, but he's in semi-retirement. But he tries to come out for our open comp races every once in a while. His son drives the car regularly elsewhere, but George drives it when they come to Seekonk.
And this is interesting. McCallum in that black and white 2X desperately trying to get ahead of Houlihan in the number 1, not because he would take lead, but because if he doesn't, he will be down an entire lap.
And I'll tell you, getting a lap back here at Seekonk is a task, and it can really help you.
It's a third-mile oval. It's a fast track, certainly. There's Rick Martin in the 14, Chad Chase in the 46. Regular drivers, competitors at Seekonk Speedway.
Chad Chase now is gotten by Bobby Tripp. A little bumper tag there between Martin and Chase. Martin's not giving up that bottom groove for anything.
Rick Martin in that red car. Bobby Tripp in the number 80 behind Chase in the 46.
See a little smoke coming out of the 2 as they comes out of the corner. That could very well be tire smoke. When he spun out, he might have bent something, and there's maybe a tire rubbing on something.
Rick Martin in the fight for second place. Chad Chase not giving up easily. There's Dick Houlihan, your current leader, screaming across your screen in that bright yellow number 1.
Yeah, Dick normally drives the number 1 Ford Thunderbird here for Dan Androck out of, I think, West Bridgewater. But that's Bobby Caton's number 1.
And Chase is around. Chad Chase is around in turn 2, bringing us under caution. Chad Chase in the number 46 finds himself spun on turn 2. Maybe our first caution for the night.
Maybe if we have a replay, we can probably catch that. I don't know if our cameras caught that. That's odd. Chad doesn't usually get loose like that.
The number 46 Viveris insurance car of Chad Chase now will find himself in the rear of the field. as it cautions are out around the track. There's Martin in the 14. So there you go, with 22 clean laps down out of 100 in the Coors 100 lap Pro Stock Open. A lot more racing to go. Don't go away. This is Speedway Heat.
The stress of an auto accident is bad enough without worrying where to get your car's bodywork repaired. At Hollister Auto Body, we specialize in collision repair and expert color matching. We are consistently recommended by major insurance companies. Our services include free estimates, towing with our own truck, and rental car availability. Bring back your car's original showroom luster. Call Hollister Auto Body today. Located on Route 6 in Seekonk.
John Horrigan joined by Wayne Dion, car number 99. Dion in neon. She looks beautiful.
The car looks good, and we're going pretty good tonight, so hopefully we'll have a good run tonight.
It's a long run tonight, 3 times the normal race.
Oh, absolutely. It's a type of race that you really have to pace yourself, but everybody charges. A lot of guys charge from the beginning, and sometimes that changes the whole strategy right there.
You're in 9th place right now in the standings. Obviously, you look to move up in the next few weeks.
Well, actually, I'm not even concerned because we had a goal of trying to win the championship, but we had so many bad nights because of crashes and so forth that we just put it out of our mind. We're going to try to win some races, and whatever happens with the points happens.
Well, you've had some bad nights. Let's have a good one tonight.
I hope so.
Great. Back upstairs to Pete.
We're anticipating Ed Yarrington, your starter, to drop that green flag at any moment as we get ready to get back underway with 22 completed laps of the Coors 100 lap Pro Stock Open here at Seekonk Speedway. I'm Pete Silva, joined tonight by Ernie Boucher. Ernie Boucher brings 30 years of experience to us in the broadcast tower. Glad to have you, Ernie.
Glad to be here, Pete. Jimmy McCallum trying to get that lap back. I guess they're running lap cars in amongst the leaders.
And again, that's the 2X car. That black and white car is Pete, one lap down. So he's trying to get himself around Dick Houlihan in the number 1 in that J&R precast car in order for him to get back into the fray on the lead lap. In the meantime, Rick Martin in the 14, and there we go, a
Tom
spin.
Scully's around.
Everyone
11,
on the biters.
Matt Dewey, the 11, Vinny Anaruno, 96 Hutchins.
A lot of cars involved.
Somebody going by sparking away.
Ryan Magoni, our statistician, just tells us the 27 involved of Dan Gamache, the 30 involved of Mike Bowler. You see some of the cars there. The 66 car
looks
involved.
like the 81. Looks like Chad Chase involved again.
Matt Dewey in the 02 and the 96 of Hutchins. There's Dewey in the 02. And now Dewey steps out of his ride, assesses the damage. So this brings us under another caution here at Seekonk Speedway for the Coors 100 lap Pro Stock Open. This is CVI Sports.
Are you the type of person who enjoys working with your hands? I know I always have. Turn something you enjoy doing into a career at MTTI.
MTTI works directly with companies that hire graduates. Together, they create intensive programs that'll give you the skills you need for today's job market in 20 to 30 weeks. With a 90% placement rate, MTTI is the place careers start.
Life's so much more fun making a living doing something you enjoy. Call MTTI and get your career started today.
John Horrigan joined by Bob Sedan of Colonial Beverages and tonight's sponsor of our 100 lap race. Bob, you just started the automobiles. First time ever doing that, huh?
Well, I think I did it once before. I really enjoy doing it. We enjoy our association here at the Seekonk Speedway. We've been with the Vendetti family since 1985 when Coors first came into the area. And we're looking forward to many more years with them.
Coors has always had great representation here with the stands, with the logos. They are associated with Seekonk Speedway. Do you look forward to a long, prosperous relationship here with the Speedway?
Absolutely. The Vendetti family and Colonial Beverages and myself been very close. We have a relationship I like to call a personal relationship. not only with the drivers, but with the Vendetti family and everyone working here.
Well, great. It's a pleasure having you here, Bob. I want to let you get back to your race.
Fine. Thank you very much for having me. We enjoyed being here.
Great. Bob Zidane from Colonial Beverages.
Returning here to Seekonk Speedway for the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open competition. Let's take another look, you and I, at what brought us under this caution. We look now at the screen. Take a look at the action.
Looks like Dave Hutchins got under the 2 car and got him a little sideways coming
Hutchins
out of
in the 96.
He's completely sideways now, and probably everybody's checking up. Yeah, they can, yep. The 99 got a little high, but he keeps going.
And that's the number 2 car of Tom Scully.
He must have got into the wall. Looks like the 60X got involved in there.
And 02 of Matt Dewey, you see on the left-hand side of your screen, sparking to a halt on turn 3. And so we're ready to go green flag racing one more time around, it looks like. Dick Houlihan in the number 1 car. We'll try to get a shot of him. There's Houlihan as they pass us by. Our assistant starter now giving the signal to cross up. In other words, get into your positions and get ready to go racing.
That's assistant starter Ed Moran. Below our starter Ed Yerrington.
The clinched green flag means we're going racing next time around, drivers. Let's get ready.
As we look at that number 1 Dick Houlihan's car, as I was saying before the caution, that's the car owned by his car owner from last year, Bobby Caton. That's the J&S Precast car that they campaigned last year. They're just going to run in the open shows this year.
And the great crowd here at Seekonk Speedway enjoying the racing and the beautiful weather. Perfect night for racing here at Seekonk. We are back under green. I'm Pete Silva, along with Ernie Boucher, filling in for Tom Ring tonight. Dick Houlihan in the number 1. The number 2X of McCallum, you see there, is down a lap, trying desperately to get ahead of Houlihan in order to rejoin the field on the lead lap. Martin, in the meantime, in the number 14. Really breathing fire down the back of Houlihan in the number 1. Martin, again, is the defending points champion here in the 1997 season.
Smoke coming out of that 2X again. It must be tire smoke or something not very important, because I'm sure...
McCallum fading back now. Again, desperately important for him to get around. And after he goes to the pits.
McCallum off the track. He probably had a tire going down or something, because that was really smoke was getting worse as it was going on.
So Dick Houlihan in the J&R Precast number 1. Being fought out now for first place by Martin in the Edna May number 14. There's Martin, a ferocious driver, and we've got reports
of Scully around again.
Tom Scully in the 2 car. That is at turn
Danny Gamache involved this time.
What you're seeing now is Scully and Gamache on turn 2. A lot of damage on Gamache's number 27. Also involved, the number 11 of Vinny Anarumo and the number 56
Dave
car
Bergman.
Of Dave Bergman. And the track crews come out now to take a look at the 27 of Gamache, while you and I take another look at what happened to bring us under this caution.
Looks like the 88 of Johnny Tripp got into Scully, and Scully took a right-hand turn, got into Dave Bergman. Wayne Dion misses it again.
Everyone sneaks by underneath. But tough luck for the number 2 of Tom Scully. You see track crews there working frantically to get those cars going. That looks like
Vinny Anarumo had 11 car.
And the number 11, his crew working frantically, popping the lid, trying to get inside, seeing what's going on. Meantime, this is the lineup as you see it. And there's the number 2 of Tom Scully in his Universal Ambulance automobile. Interesting here, we have the number 23 of Steve Channing down on the front straight, having a conference with our assistant starter, Ed Moran. Excuse me.
Yes.
It's Ed Yerrington and Ed Moran. I apologize for that. There we go. And there's Scully's crew again in the number 2.
Still doing the seesaw battle on that front bumper, trying to get it off. Here comes, as you can see, that's the welder pulling up. That's George Rigo's brother, who is the welder here at Seekonk.
George Rigo, again, driver of the number 64 Pro Stock. There's Ed Yerrington.
I don't believe George Rigo qualified tonight either.
And so, as we wait for these cars frantically with their crews to get back onto the track, we're going to take a quick break. But as you can see, it doesn't get any better than this. Don't go away. This is Speedway Heat.
Summer fun.
Get on a fast track to summer fun. Family track, slick track, kiddie track, NASCARs. New for 96, golf driving range. Plus bumper boats and more. Summer fun.
Seekonk Grand Prix.
Just a few professional mechanics tools can cost a fortune, but today you can try this professional 48-piece Metrinch dual-purpose tool set with no obligation to buy. Each tool grabs metric nuts and bolts, standard nuts and bolts, even worn or damaged nuts and bolts. You'll discover Metrinch tools are the highest quality, do at least twice the work of any wrench or socket you've ever used, or send the kit back within 30 days and your credit card will never be charged. But if you love the heft, feel, and function of these top-of-the-line tools, simply keep your Metrinch set and your credit card will be charged just 5 payments of $25.95. And Metrinch tools carry a lifetime replacement guarantee if any tool ever fails. Have your credit card ready and call the toll-free number on your screen to try Metrinch tools in this special limited free trial. You've got nothing to lose to give these amazing dual-purpose tools a try. Remember, Metrinch tools make a great gift. Prove to yourself that Metrinch is the very best. Call the toll-free number and order right now.
John Horrigan, joined by Bobby Pellin Jr. in the car number 12 in the Pro Stock division, but also, Bobby, you've been wearing 2 hats. You're driving trucks as well.
Yeah, this year they changed the rules, so trying to do both, have a little fun in the truck, takes away from the pressure of driving the Pro Stock.
Knowing you, if you had it your way, you'd drive all 4 divisions.
I drive everything. Don't matter, just keep running from truck, car, whatever.
The second leg tonight of a Triple Crown 100-lap feature. What changes, what modifications have you made with your automobile?
We didn't really make any because we're 4th in points, so we wanted to leave the car like it was, so to be good for the points race too. Because if you change it for this race, then when you come back to race next week for the points, you got to change it back. So we'd rather just keep it like it is.
As they say, that old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
All right, back upstairs to Pete.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open race at Seekonk Speedway. There you see a great shot of the pit crews.
That's Jimmy Kuhn's number 72. He has a problem with the back end, although they are bolting the tires back on, so they're probably going to make the effort to come back out.
This is an open competition here at Seekonk Speedway. Glad you can join us on Speedway Heat. I'm Pete Silva, along with Ernie Boucher tonight. A beautiful, beautiful full moon over the crowd at Seekonk on a warm, just a little bit windy night, but a great night for racing indeed. Ernie, you think the full moon has anything to do with the cautions?
Oh, many a night, as a car owner, I used to hate to see the full moon out because it just seemed that it brought all the animalistic feelings out of some of these competitors.
The werewolves behind the wheels,
yes,
I guess, huh?
You used to see hair on their chins at the end of the night.
And now we got Jimmy Kuhn in the 72. He's rolling and back onto the track out of the pit gate. This time around, we're going green flag racing for the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open. That's Dick Houlihan, who has led 27 laps here in this race. Rick Martin challenging on the outside down the back straight.
Rick doesn't have to worry about Jimmy McCallum this time on the outside. Rick gets a great jump on the outside this time. Rick is a great outside runner. You know, if he can keep his momentum going, which he looks like he has, it's going to be pretty tough to contain him.
And so Rick Martin in the number 14 Whitewater car doing a great job. He takes the lead away from Dick Houlihan.
Well, he's not giving up, though. He's staying on the inside.
He certainly is not. But Martin now finds his line on the inside. The place you want to be here on this 3rd mile oval in Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Yeah, the ideal position when you got cars behind him is like Rick's running. You run that half a groove up going through the corner so you can't dive under them, and it's a long way around on the outside.
It sure is. And so Martin now has to maintain his position for more laps than they normally run here at Seekonk Speedway. This is 100 laps. Normally we see 40 laps in this division. Rick Martin, Dick Houlihan fighting it out. Their nearest competitor approximately 3 or 4 car lengths away. And now we've got a wreck. We've got a wreck on turn 2. The number 79 car of
Chad Chase. Chad Chase just must have a big yellow spot hit me on his car tonight.
Chad Chase driving the number 46. And now we're getting reports that the 00 of Rich Caparco is off to the pits. Norm Holden in the number 6 we are being reported to is off into the pits as well. But there you have the number 79 of Doug Morrow. The reason, or part of the reason for this caution here. And this will bunch up the field once again, but this time around when we come back, Rick Martin will have the inside line in the first row. Don't go away, this is CVI Sports.
Hi racing fans. The Viveris Insurance Agency welcomes all racing fans to call or stop by for a comparison quote today on their insurance needs, specializing in automobile, homeowners, and business insurance. The locations are Fall River, Taunton, Somerset, and Rehoboth. The Viveris Insurance Agency will provide you with quality personal service. Call or stop by today. You will be pleasantly surprised.
Speedway Heat giving you the racing fever? Get all the regional and national racing action every week with Speedway Scene. 50 issues of the most comprehensive coverage of New England auto racing delivered to your doorstep for only $40. Order your subscription today. Credit card customers order by calling 1-800-45-RACING or send your check or money order to Speedway Scene, Val Publications, P.O. Box 300, Northeastern, Massachusetts, 02356.
John Horrigan joined by Vinny Anarumo in car number 11 in the Pro Stock Division. Vinny, right now this year, running in 11th place, you're looking to move up in the standings. Any changes you've made to your car?
Oh yeah, last week we got in a bad wreck, twisted the front of the car, the back of the car, and now we're just trying to get it back to where we were. We'll be okay. We're not going to run for no points this year, but you know, we're way beyond that point, but hopefully we'll pull a couple races out before the year's out.
What preparations do you make for a longer race, 100 lapper? This is the second part of a Triple Crown feature. What changes do you make?
Oh, there's a lot of things. They let you run different axles, different hubs. There's a few things you can run different in a 100 lapper, but there's a lot of preparation. Packing wheel bearings and doing your normal maintenance that don't show up in 100 laps.
Sure. Well, long may you run, Vinny Anarumo. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. We need it.
All right, back upstairs to Pete.
We're back, just about ready for green flag racing here on Speedway Heat for the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open. Your leader, the number 14 of Rick Martin. He started on the outside of that first row, so he's certainly no stranger here to the lead positions at Seekonk Speedway. Dick Houlihan on the outside in that yellow number 1 J&R precast car. But take a look at the number 88s.
That's Johnny Tripp, our last 100-lap winner. He's all the way up to third. Martin taking the high line, coming down for that start.
And Rick Martin now, just slightly loose, recovers, but look at this. It's Tripp down on the inside. John Tripp, who won the last, or the first of the 3 100-lap opens in this Triple Crown Series here at Seekonk Speedway. And now Tripp finds himself in second ahead of Houlihan.
Yeah, that outside groove wasn't the groove to beat for Houlihan on that restart.
So Rick Martin now being threatened again, and as we saw here, race fans, at Seekonk Speedway in the first of the 3 Triple Crown 100 laps. There's the 48 now.
You got Freddie Estelle in the 48. He qualified through the concert. He's already up to 4th. And you got Chad Chase, who's been in a few incidents. He's running 5th.
And word is now the 23 of Channing is off to the pits. And as we were saying before, we had seen the race fought viciously between the 14 and the 88 in the first of the 3 in the Triple Crown Series. And here they are once again, top drivers at a top track, Seekonk Speedway.
John Tripp for being, I believe John is 51 now, for being not a kid. He's doing quite a job out there. Of course, I got to take your hat off to George Murray, who's running in the top 10. He's older than Bobby Tripp is.
So
Johnny
1, 2,
Tripp.
3 as you see it. Martin, Tripp, and Houlihan. Your leader on the left, number 14 of Rick Martin. Again, this is a 100-lap open race, an open competition, meaning drivers from all over New England and parts of New York are here to compete tonight.
Yeah, we have Paul McElhenney in the 60 back in the field. He's out of Long Island. There's Wayne Dion in the 99 car underneath George Murray, looking to take over that 7th spot.
Wayne Dean on the 99.
Also a Consi qualifier.
He's got a feature here in the 1997 season under his
Yes, he
belt.
does.
A great relief for him after suffering a lot of troubles in the 96 season at Seekonk Speedway. Found himself a new sponsor. He's got that car running very, very well. But meanwhile, here at the top of the pack, the 14 of Martin continues to lead. Knocking at the door is Tripp in the 88. There's Dion again in the 99. That's about 7th place, 7th position.
Yeah, Dion's in that King Richard's used car superstore 99.
George Murray in the 81 just ahead of him, volleying for position on this track. There's your leaders again. Again, the 88 of John Tripp.
Martin just fending off Johnny Tripp. Of course, Johnny's a type of a cat and mouse driver. He could be just laying back. Hope we have a spin. Freddie Estelle spinning. Looks like him and Chad Chase must have tangled.
Fred Estelle in the 48, who had been running so well here tonight in this race, finds himself on the infield, bringing us under a caution. Fred Estelle had started deep into the pack to find his way up.
Made a fine moves up to that. I believe he was running 4th at the time he was got spun out or lost control of the car, whatever happened out there.
So on lap number 44 out of 100, Estelle in that number 48 works his way toward his crew in the pits. Let's take another look now at what brought this caution here. There's Dion in the 99, but keep your eye on the 48, the yellow 48 in the center of your screen, tangling up with Chase in the 46.
Yeah, it looks like looks like Chase got into him just a little bit, and it didn't take much. Sometimes when you're that 48 car, when he runs the outside, he bends up the right rear tire. Of course, he looks like Chad Chase is getting a little conference call from the assistant starter.
Chase in the Viveris Insurance number 46 now back underway. And we will be back underway in a matter of moments. This is Speedway Heat.
When you're looking for wheels to make your car a showstopper, where can you go? When you want a particular tire to help your truck really grip on or off-road, where can you go? And when you need to have the right parts that help you blow the competition away at the racetrack, where can you go? You win.
Zeke's Custom Auto, Route 44, North Dighton, 508-252-4312. The stress of an auto accident is bad enough without worrying where to get your car's bodywork repaired. At Hollister Auto Body, we specialize in collision repair and expert color matching. We are consistently recommended by major insurance companies. Our services include free estimates, towing with our own truck, and rental car availability. Bring back your car's original showroom luster. Call Hollister Auto Body today. Located on Route 6 in Seekonk.
John Horrigan joined by Alan McClure, car number 66 from the Pro Stock Division. Alan, very competitive, and this is just your 2nd season here at the Conk.
Yeah, well, we ran here with the modifieds a few years ago, and took a while to get hooked back up with the Pro Stocks. They're so competitive, but we're getting there.
Yeah. 6th in the standings, within striking distance of the championship.
Yeah, well, last week we finished 3rd, and we would have took the point lead over. And we come up 4 pounds light on the total weight of the car, so we got disqualified for the night, so pushed us back a little bit, but it's a long season still left.
Will your ride survive the attrition rate of this tonight 100-lap race?
Only the guy up there knows that.
And he may decide the outcome of the race. It looks a little cloudy here.
Yeah, well, it'll clear, but it'll be a tough night. It always is in these races down here.
Great. Well, clear sailing for you, Alan.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, back upstairs to Pete.
We're back underway here at Seekonk Speedway for the Coors 100-lap Pro Stock Open. Your leader, the number 14 of Rick Martin. On the outside of Martin, the number 88 of John Tripp. John, not a regular runner here at Seekonk Speedway.
No, John's going into semi-retirement. He's just picking and chooses his races. He wants to run all the 100-lappers this year at Seekonk, which he did win the first one. They ventured up to the Oxford 250, which is like the premier short-track race in New England. Paid $50,000 to win. John wound up finishing 12th in that. It's more like an enduro race because it's a long, long race. So John, being 51 years old, did a heck of a job up there.
And there's your layout as they get ready to go green. They are racing here at Seekonk Speedway. And what a fight going on now for your leaders. The number 14 of Martin, Tripp on the outside in the 88, taking the high line. You saw bumping on the berm there right behind Tripp, which is a point of contention, that little area of cement just on the inside of the track. The reason we mention that is because you could get penalized 2 spots if you find yourself riding on that track.
That is sacred ground, Pete.
Ernie Boucher joining us here in the broadcast booth while Tom Ring enjoys his honeymoon. Congratulations, Tom and Jan, from all of us here on Speedway Heat. Ernie Boucher, you write a column. In your column, you mentioned how interesting it is that they put that berm there
to discourage these gentlemen from riding on it, and some of them use it to help themselves. But when they're caught, they put back 3 spots. So
if they can get a couple of inches extra.
Yeah.
We're approaching the halfway point.
Halfway coming this time around.
So now Martin.
We'll see some strategy changes possibly now. Some guys wait for that halfway lap to start making their strategy moves.
And there's Fred Estelle
coming up through the pack. Yeah, after that spin.
Yep. In the 66.
And you get that 60 of Paul McElhinney out of Long Island. That's also a Ford. That's a little Mustang-bodied Ford where Freddie opted for the big Thunderbird body.
And the word now, the report is that Rick Martin, your leader, just turned a 13-second lap.
That's a pretty good lap for a pro stock, especially during a race.
Martin, Tripp, 1 and 2 as you see it. About 4 car lengths between Tripp and your 3rd place runner, the number 81 of George Murray.
George Murray, there's a man that can tell some stories. When I first started coming to Seekonk as a kid in the 60s, George was running in our flathead division and winning then. And he hasn't won in a few years, but he's not as competitive as he used to be as frequency. But he's still a competitor, as you can see out here tonight, running in that 3rd position in that number 81 Mandeville Chevrolet sponsored vehicle.
Dick Houlihan in the 1, who started tonight on the pole, finds himself racing for 4th, trying to get into the top 3 spots. Behind Houlihan in the 46 is Chad Chase.
The Viveris insurance car.
Murray in the 81 leading the rest of the field because he's about 3 car lengths behind the top 2 leaders, Martin and Tripp.
Wayne Dion back into that 6th spot.
And
Chad Chase trying that outside groove. Chad did that in our first underlap and almost caught Johnny Tripp at the end of the race. Maybe he figures it's time to try it again tonight a little bit earlier because he was about 3 laps too shy in the last 100-lapper.
Different strategies indeed. Normally we run 40 laps. Tonight it's 100 laps.
As you watch Martin going around, you see him moving that half a groove up, just enough so Johnny can't get under him. And it's too far to go on the outside.
A blocking technique, and of course these cars have to save their tires. You cannot have a tire change. You end up in the pits.
Yeah, you can change if you have a flat, and that's it. Of course, that's says it all for itself.
So smooth racing so far, as we are more than 50 laps into this 100-lap open.
Yeah, when Rick Martin gets out front, he's a pretty tough competitor. It's hard to get by Rick. I mean, he knows every inch of this track. He's been running this track. Matter of fact, Rick Martin was probably born at Seekonk Speedway. As you enter the pit gates here, going in there, to the right side is where his mother sits. And when his father was a competitor here, his grandmother was there. So that's going to be someday designated the Martin stands.
And there's McElhinney in that 60X. Ahead of him in the 30 is Mike Bowler.
Mike Bowler with a lot of 200-mile-an-hour tape holding in front of that car together.
And the number 6 of Norm Holden. Holden on the left. The 30 right there. Bowler.
McClure up just in front of those 2 cars. Then you have Doug Morrow in the 79 just behind them.
Martin still your leader.
Martin, he's opened up a slight advantage over Trippy.
Martin certainly an aggressive driver here at Seekonk Speedway.
Yeah, Ricky is a very aggressive. Sometimes he forgets it and he gets a little too aggressive, but for the most part, Ricky is a very good driver. You know, he tries to discipline himself, but sometimes he loses his cool.
And there's, speaking of cool, there's Wayne Dion. Now you see a dryer hose sticking out from his window. The reason being, keeping his feet cool. That dryer hose is going down into the cockpit of this car.
Yeah, it keeps him cool, calm, and collected. When you said cool, I thought you were looking at the hood where it says Dell's Lemonade on the hood.
One of his great sponsors as well. Lenny Ellis in the 41 behind him.
Lenny's a real good runner as of late. He's got Ronnie Pond working on that car this year. Ronnie is a master of chassis setup, and you can really see it in that number 41 car this year. Lenny is really progressing.
And you saw briefly Bobby Tripp in the number 80 car.
Yeah, Bobby Tripp's coming up back through the pack after making that pit stop.
He's the son of John Tripp, who is fighting for first right now.
And Freddie Estelle's on right on Bobby Tripp's bumper, as I see in the screen. So Freddie's come all the way back up through too after that tire change.
Reports now that the two of Scully, we saw briefly, ever so briefly, going off to the pits now.
Good battle between Dion and Ellis and Trippy there.
And Scully pulled in next to Gamache in the 27, who went out on a caution. And there's Rick Martin getting around lap traffic.
Yeah, that's Rick Caparco he's going under this time around.
Rich Caparco, a guest in one of our studio shows.
The 46 looks like he's now in second. I guess somehow the 46 could buy the 88. So, you know, we got Chad Chase in that second spot.
Rick Martin, your leader now.
And Chad Chase is closing the ground.
We're in lap traffic. Again, that's 79 of Doug Murrow is behind. Again, there's another pit shot. 14 of Martin.
Coming upon Paul McElhenney in that number 60 X Mustang. Paul's a little loose as he's going down that backstretch.
And Martin is tearing it up, getting through the cars that are down a lap. We'll try to get a shot of your second place car, which is right there, the 46, the center of your screen. That is a car in second.
Here comes Wayne Dion spinning through the infield.
We see Wayne Dion in his Dell's number 99. Down on the infield, still though under his own power. Difficult for Wayne because now this sets him way off the pace into the rear of the field after doing so well. Martin, there we go, a clear view of number
Chad
1
Chase
and 2.
is definitely Closing in the ground.
Martin in the 14, Chase in the 46. Down the back straight.
We're going to see a repeat of the first 100-lap feature, except it's going to be a different leader. We'll see if Chase can this time get by Rick Martin.
Well, that's the strategy, to try to keep it cool, calm, and collected. Put that car on rails and take it to the checkered flag.
Which would be ironic, because Chad's hit everything but the lottery tonight, I believe. 16 laps ago.
And now the finish gets hot and heavy. Very exciting for the Coors 100-lap open competition. Moments away from a checkered flag for Rick Martin, perhaps. For Chad Chase, maybe. Either one of them poised for a win. We'll see if Martin can hold it off. Martin is a very good runner here. Again, the 1996 defending points champion here at Seekonk Speedway. But Chad Chase is not about to give up the ghost very easily in that 46 Viveris Insurance car.
And they're coming upon lap traffic where this is, see what happens here when Rick gets upon these lap cars.
We briefly saw Ed Yerington, the starter, waving the blue flag to the slower cars, meaning move up, move out, get out of the way for the leaders.
And this will really tighten things up between Rick and Chad. We'll see which way everybody goes. Looks like they're going to both slip right through. That's good. 10 laps to go.
We are down to 10 laps out of 100 here. We'll see if lap traffic becomes an entity, how much it affects the leaders, if at all. Martin now trying to get inside of Dave Hutchins. Hutchins now really a little too close for comfort there with Rick Martin. He saw a blue flag as he went around. Get out of the way. Here come the leaders. Dave Hutchins now in that 96.
Rick's also the type of driver who would like to keep that lap car on the outside of him, use up the track, you know, eliminating Chad's way around too. Sometimes these drivers will play coy. They'll use that lap car as their blocker
Martin in that 14 now trying to get on the inside of Mike Bowler in the 30. Again, more lap traffic. The 46 of Chad Chase is really who he's worried about. But he's got to stay out of harm's way to make it to 100 laps and the checkered flag. We are moments from that victory for either of these drivers. And now Chase just ever so loose, recovering though. He really has no competition behind him because it's such a long distance.
Yeah.
Easily a straightaway between Chase and the 46.
And whoever else is there.
And his nearest competitor at this point.
I know the lap's got to be dwindling down.
Martin, a little bit of smoke off of the tail end of that car.
Yeah, Rick will really drive it in deep because there's no one at Seekonk Speedway that goes in deeper than Rick Martin. The man is just awesome to watch. He really, really is.
Rosenfeld in that number 44, excuse me, Rosenfield in the 44, getting the blue flag, get out of the way for the leaders. And up high he goes.
Jimmy Rosenfield, he's a second-generation driver. His dad ran here, I think was probably in one of the first races that run at Seekonk in the 40s, but many, many time champion. 5 laps to go.
With 5 laps to go now we're out of lap traffic, so now Chad Chase does have a chance down the back straight.
He has to try the outside because he'll never get under Ricky. There's no getting under Ricky.
Rick Martin has this car on rails as we get nearer and nearer to the checkered. Martin in the 14, Chase in the 46, trying to get on the inside, a difficult place. Very tough to manhandle that automobile underneath Rick Martin.
Little touch, a little bumper tag. Of course, Rick's that type of guy. He can use that little, give you a brake job too. He's been known to do that over the season.
2 laps to go for the leaders. Martin in the 14 still continuing to hold off the pack.
Rick Martin, he knows all the tricks when he's here. I've seen some wild antics from Rick, and he knows them all.
1 lap
to go.
The white flag lap. 1/3 of a mile to go for Rick Martin. That car gets loose. Chad Chase now looking high in turn 3. Down they come. Bumper tag once again, but Rick Martin takes the checkered flag for the Coors 100 lap Pro Stock Open here at Seekonk Speedway. The checkered flag for Rick Martin in the 14 in the second of 3 in the Triple Crown Series here at Seekonk. A great race from roughly lap 30 or so right to the finish. It was tremendous racing action for Martin especially. He was being challenged for a while by Tripp in the 88, who was his nemesis, if you will.
Yeah, in our first 100 lapper, Johnny kept Rick at bay on the outside and wore his tires out. Rick looked like he was going to repeat that same way, but he got down to the bottom and he kind of made the move out and led the field from then on.
He did a great job indeed of keeping that car nailed down. There's Rick Martin in the 14. He's on the back straight, saying hello to his fans. Now, here's the question, Ernie Boucher, you may not be familiar with this, but Tom Ring and I have noticed in the past that Rick Martin in the 14 has installed a cockpit light, an interior light.
Yeah, I've seen that on the TV when I have watched Speedway Heat. I mean, he's a real promoter or a real superstar or trying to be or whatever. Yep.
And with
he's a fan favorite also.
Oh,
I mean,
he certainly
gets
is.
a lot of boos, but he gets as many yays and hoorays as he gets boos.
And Rick Martin taking the victory in his Edna May Whitewater number 14, the checkered flag. Unofficially, Chad Chase in the 46 came in second. John Tripp in the 88, third. Dick Houlihan, who started on the pole tonight, came in fourth. And George Murray, interesting enough, came in fifth. Again, that's unofficial. And Rick Martin led 73 out of 100 laps. Apparently only 2 lap changes here.
Yeah, we had Johnny Tripp lead the first 27, and then Rick picked up on that restart and led the rest of the way. Rick made that gallant move on the outside on that restart, lap 27 restart. And when Rick's on the outside, he just, as you watch him, he's like an artist going in. He goes in real deep into the corners, and he doesn't lose control of the car. He just has a feel for this track. He really has a feeling.
Well, as you said, it's rumored that he was born on this track, so it's
Yeah, I
certainly
believe so.
it's an innate ability for Rick Martin in that number 14. Another great shot inside of that jubilant driver, Rick Martin.
He doesn't look too happy, does he, Pete?
And off he goes.
And Rick builds these cars. He builds these cars in his own garage behind his mother's house. He builds them, and when he wrecks them, he has to fix them. I mean, you know, the man is a real smart individual. You have to give him credit.
And we certainly do here on Speedway Heat. Rick Martin, off he goes to meet his jubilant fans and crew. We'll be right back with a wrap-up. Don't go away. This is Speedway Heat.
Summer fun!
Get on a fast track to summer fun. Family track. Slick track. Kiddie track. NASCARs. New for 96, golf driving range. Plus bumper boats and more. Summer fun.
Seekonk Grand Prix!
The stress of an auto accident is bad enough without worrying where to get your car's bodywork repaired. At Hollister Auto Body, we specialize in collision repair and expert color matching. We are consistently recommended by major insurance companies. Our services include free estimates, towing with our own truck, and rental car availability. Bring back your car's original showroom luster. Call Hollister Auto Body today. Located on Route 6 in Seekonk.
Are you the type of person who enjoys working with your hands? I know I always have. Turn something you enjoy doing into a career at MTTI.
MTTI works directly with companies that hire graduates. Together, they create intensive programs that'll give you the skills you need for today's job market in 20 to 30 weeks. With a 90% placement rate, MTTI is the place careers start.
Life's so much more fun making a living doing something you enjoy. Call MTTI and get your career started today.
John Horrigan along with tonight's winner, Radical Rick Martin, car number 14, defending champion. You led almost from wire to wire. You battled it out with Houlihan, and then you left dust in everybody's face.
When I restarted, I was thinking, I don't want to be like last time, 80 laps on the outside of Houlihan. I better get going and get it done, get to the front, because I get stuck on the outside. It's a long race.
The last part of the race, Rick, exciting. Chad was literally chasing you. Chase was right in your bumper. In fact, the lap final, prior to the final lap, he had bumped you. Do you think that was intentional?
Yeah, he was trying to loosen me up. He likes to give a few bumps before he tries the outside, but I knew it was him. I figured he'd be coming. I was just trying to keep it down and just hold on.
Yeah. Well, tonight's winner of the second leg of this Triple Crown, this 100-lap race, he's atop the point standings. He's going to be a hard man to catch. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, man.
John Horrigan along with Chad Chase in car number 46 of the Pro Stock, finishing second tonight. A great finish there, though. You were right on Martin's tail. You almost pulled it out.
Yeah, we trying to figure out just how to pass him. We tried him on the outside in the beginning of the race, and he definitely didn't give us the room, and got turned around there. We had to come from the back. And tried him a couple of times underneath, and he kept pinching the corner off, so figured give him a little bunt in the bumper and let him know, hey, you know, one lane or the other, but hey, it's the way it turned out, and we'll come back next week and try it again, you know.
Great, you're in third place. Well, you moved up in the standings, so you're still going to be chasing him. This is the first of many, many meetings between you two up until the end of the season.
I'm sure we'll be trading paint before the year's over.
Great. Well, thanks for being a good sport for talking with us, Chad. Back upstairs to Pete.